T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another Unsorted stream. It's Saturday, and I've got my glass of wine and my many drinks, and I've got two fabulous co-hosts who I did not trust with microphones this weekend, Joe. So he's not having the privilege of opening this show. I'll keep that for me for now. So let's see if Joe's all up and working. And Joe,
is it?
You there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, he's working today. Okay. He's got it sorted.
Okay. Hold on. Let me just adjust the microphone.
No.
Sorry.
Can't take you anywhere, man. Cannot take
you anywhere. I know. That's what my mom said since I was a wee lad. If you're gonna blow something up, just blow something up in our backyard, okay?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Talking of blowing stuff up, here's Cut the Craggle.
What on earth does that mean?
People can take from that what they want, mate.
I have, like, how am I supposed to come back to that? Talking of blowing stuff up, here's Cut the Craggle.
Do you know what? That's it. Perfect. I've made Craggle speechless. I've never done that.
We often call you behind your back the mobile Welsh hurricane, but not in a good way.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane.
Okay, all right.
Oh dear. How are you two this evening?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, that's the more important question. How are you, Sam?
How are you, Sam?
Do you know what? I'm here. It's Saturday evening, and I'm with my two best buddies. What more do I need?
Greg, I don't know about you, but that sounded a bit effusive to me. I think he's doing terrible. I'm
good. I really am good. And you know, we've got some people to join us. So let's see who is in the chat. Good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever. Jacob Neely, hello. Mrs. Craggle, good evening. Lady Sam B, good evening. And best till last, Cut the Craggle. But he's always ready.
I love how you put that up out of context, that quote. So now I'm not sure I'm ready.
I'm not sure I'm ready.
Oh dear, yes.
Which is surprisingly what he was shouting during his first sexual experience. I'm not sure if I'm ready.
Actually, it was closer to that noise you made when you did the mic test.
I'm having one. Okay. By the way, P.S. everyone, this is a not safe for work. I would call it grown-up podcast or a stream.
Yeah,
but, just they put the not safe for work because people couldn't refer to stuff as adult or grown-up because, let's face it, the immaturity level on this.
That's what I was getting at, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just noticed as well, when Sam moves his head, move your head back a bit, Sam. For some reason, from this angle, the silo for the dirt farm looks like it's just the tip of your dog's penis.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, on the top shelf, he's got a hole. On the bottom shelf, he's got a bunch of phallic symbols.
You take from that what you will, you know.
Honestly, that cabinet is a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. That red rocket. Anyway.
So what has everyone been up to this week? Anything exciting?
Work. But I did do some studio stuff today.
I was actually going to ask you. I think you're still waiting on some stuff for me for the instructions, and I forgot all about it.
Yeah, but I can't remember what I'm actually waiting for. Or the cover for the instructions.
Yes, I need to do that because we changed a few parts.
We did change a few parts, but that's it now. I'm locked in. I'm not changing anything else. So the latest instructions that I sent you, which has the last or the most recent images on and changes, that's it. I'm not going to change anything else now. It's all structurally sound. If we want to change like the odd bit here and there for like the color of something for an effect, then yeah, we can do. But
cool.
Other than that,
so that's for anyone who hasn't been following and doesn't speak Craggle Sam Jones code. That is the instructions for our Ghostbusters Afterlife inspired Ecto 1 or Ectomobile.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you're working on instructions for that, and I know YouTube pretty well, and I'm glad for the translation because I don't always.
You don't get it.
The other day, I said to Sam, I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, it's been a hard week at work. I'm relaxing on the sofa under a blanket." And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "It's been a hard week at work. I'm relaxing on the sofa under a blanket." Like we had two alike sometimes.
Okay, all right.
I should say it wasn't the same sofa and the same blanket because otherwise, if we were messaging on Discord saying what you're doing and we're sat right next to each other, that would.
Yeah. We have got to specify that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes Emily and I catch each other like we are in bed, like next to each other, and we're texting each other.
Oh my word!
Links of videos we're watching currently.
No, actually, I have done that. When I've been next to this
Reddit video
on my phone, I've sent her the link.
Yeah.
I just lean over and show her. Though the problem is, when my missus, she sometimes will do that and go, look at my phone, but she'll often do it when I'm busy reading something or concentrating on something else. That irritates me straight away. I have this trait, I guess, that if you interrupt me whilst I'm concentrating hard, I will be really pissed off with you. So straight away, we're on the wrong foot. But also, Mrs. Craggle has no concept of eye line. So she'll hold her phone out on like the base of her palm, horizontal, and expect my eyes to do a 90-degree flip and see the screen somehow. And then when she does lift it up, her phone has like the auto sensor on there, so it dims the screen. So like it's like looking out into the deepest, darkest night without a flashlight. And I'm like, thank you for sharing this. So I can see why she now sends me the links, you know.
See, now this is why Emily and I just share links with each other. It's just like we avoid a lot of technical issues. So
Yeah.
What's the human version of technical issues?
Sexual issues? No.
Not something I've come up against.
I know, Craggle. It's Craggle. Craggle is the definition
Oh,
of human.
thank you. Oh, and I love you too.
Can't help but think you may have walked into that one, mate.
Yeah, I feel like today is my turn to be on the receiving end. Take that how you will.
Craggle, of all the people I know, you're one of them, buddy. You're one of them.
Oh, dear.
And I've been keeping track. My circulatory system is still working. So
yes, Joe.
Yes.
Hey. That's good. That's good to hear.
Do you know what? Yeah. Like Joe said last week, he's been waiting 40 odd years for someone to notice. He's checking up on it every week.
If you watch Craggle's little cartoon, what do you call it? Avatar right there. Sometimes it will make eye contact with Sam, and their eyes will twinkle. They'll just. Oh, Wow. It'll be a
that one.
quick rule 34. Someone take a picture.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I don't know what's sexier, what you just had up or your current one.
Yeah. I will say, trying to sway the topic towards Lego, since this is supposedly a Lego stream. Did anyone purchase the A-frame?
1 second. I need to get the power cord for my computer, otherwise it's going to die in like a second. So,
oh my word!
I'm
so
sorry.
Professional.
Oh dear!
Can you believe this shit?
Do you know what? It's because we asked him to pop in early.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes my docking station doesn't work fully.
It doesn't dock?
Yeah. I have to teach it a little bit about how to get that done. Okay. All right. I'm back. Go for it. Lego. Let's talk about Lego.
So they released, at least to VIP members, I think now it's on general released, the Lego Ideas A-frame shack thing, which I gotta be honest, I originally had no interest in until the official pictures came out, and then I think we talked about it on one of the episodes that it had some really interesting part usage. So I was all set to get it, and I was expecting, some sort of offer like a gift with purchase or double VIP points, and there was nothing. So did anyone get round to getting this, or?
No,
I've certainly not got it. But I did purchase something from Lego the other day though, for a friend of mine's birthday. He's there was just obviously no gift with purchase or anything on that one. So I was like,
I know, I feel like kind of a little bit screwed over by Lego. I know that sounds a bit entitled, but Lego Ideas, I've noticed now, has started popping up in normal retailers. It used to be like Lego Ideas was only available from Lego.com, and then in the UK at least, it was Lego, Lego.com, Lego stores, and then it was Smiths as well. But I've seen some Lego Ideas sets pop up in like B&M bargains, like even like Sainsbury's and stuff. So, I feel like when you buy directly from Lego, you're already paying more than you would anywhere else, because let's face it, everywhere else always knocks off at least minimum around 5%, right? So the reason why you buy from Lego is because either it's a set that's exclusively available from Lego, or they throw in some double VIP points, some gift with purchase, some other incentive. And with this, the only incentive I can see was that you could get it like 2 or 3 days before everyone else.
Yeah.
Which, with shipping is not going to make any difference anyway.
No, the shipping's that bad and that delayed these days,
The only gift with purchase that was available when I looked on there was the Bionicle one, which I know is huge for Bionicle fans. It's had a bit of a mixed reaction, though, because it doesn't actually use, Bionicle pieces. It's using Lego system pieces. But that was only on purchases on select themes, Lego Ideas not being one of them. So, I just felt like a little bit let down there.
Wow. Yeah, and I usually buy my stuff from Lego, the Lego website, just to build up Lego, Lego points, and for the special prizes, i.e.,
exactly.
You're a rabbit.
Yeah.
Funny. This got delivered to me. It got dropped from a balloon, like way up above me.
You mean that Chinese weather satellite that's got lost, weather balloon?
It just landed in my yard. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna move my microphone now, so I'm gonna mute.
No.
Okay.
Oh dear.
This is a delicate operation, folks.
Oh my God.
I mean, the other thing as well off the back of that has made me a bit disappointed is this hasn't, I don't think, been officially revealed, but I've seen leaked images of actual boxes. There is a gift with purchase coming out that ties in to the latest Lego modular set, the Jazz Club. Bear in mind, the Jazz Club came out on January 1st,
Yeah.
and apparently this gift with purchase is going to be available from the 28th of February to like the 3rd of March when you buy the Jazz Club. And I just feel like, so basically, those of us who have been loyal, who bought the set on day one, are getting screwed over.
Yeah, and I just see it as just kind of a, I don't know, gambling, I guess. I mean, it's just like getting loot boxes in modern video games. It's like, well, it's not quite like that, but it
I
is
get what
kind
you
of like
mean, though. It's like you take the gamble. Do I get on day one and know that I've got it, and it hasn't sold out, or do I wait to see if they're going to do a gift with purchase like almost 2 months later, and end up missing out on that, but then potentially it would have sold out. So
right.
I just feel like it's a bit scummy of them to have like this gift with purchase design that ties into the modular and not release it day one, when the set first comes available.
Right. Like if it goes with the set, like it should be available right off the bat. It's almost like they had a bunch of extra design things that they wanted to put in the set, but then like it's like the extras on a DVD or Blu-ray, Yeah. So is this okay? Do you want me to? I mean, since it's a Lego stream, I was like, hey, if I'm going to build this, might as well show it, right?
It's fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than your face.
Again,
how long are your fingers, honestly?
They are. I used to play bass guitar, man. They are long fingers. Not that playing bass guitar caused long fingers, but I was like, oh, I have long fingers, and I already.
Now I understand why your wife married you.
Huh? Come hither.
But no, I was trying to think of other examples, and I know there has been. Because I swear there was one with the bookshop where they did like a little newsstand, and that came afterwards. I think as like, but that one I believe you had to go into stores and like it was a build and take, but came out afterwards. And I remember the people on Lego Stop, they like held back a set of the pieces for me. They were kind enough to do that because they knew I wanted it. But I do remember. Do you know the Lego Batman, the 66 Batcave? The one based on the Adam West show. Do you remember that one, the big Batcave set?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
So that came out. I remember I bought it not on day one, but within like the first couple of weeks of it coming out. Or even with the first week, maybe. And about... Let's have a look. Yes, indeed. And then I think about 8 weeks later, maybe even less, they then did an offer where if you bought that, you got an exclusive poly bag with an exclusive minifigure of the Batman 66 era Mr. Freeze.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I even messaged him. I was like, I've already bought this, and now you've got a poly bag of it on there, and you can only get it with the set. I feel it's a bit unfair because what am I supposed to do? Buy a second one,
Yeah,
And
that's how the aftermarket is driven, is just by those exclusives that are super rare, and then only certain people get them.
And basically Lego customer service were terrible about it. They kind of just were like, oh well, it's fine. I was like, you obviously had this produced and ready to go when the set launched. Like, you had this in mind. You didn't just come up with this in the 6 weeks and make it a thing. And I get what they're doing. I get from a marketing strategy, I think what they're doing is they put the set out and they know the hardcore fans will get it. And then they would then sort of like sweeten the deal with an extra promo for those who are on the fence to get the sort of second wave of buyers. And that would be fine if it wasn't something that was so exclusive that, the loyal people miss out on then, Actually, Minifig Who has just reminded me, they did it last year with the vintage taxi and the hotel. It honestly, I just feel like it sucks balls, and Lego should do better. They should treat their fans, and their loyal customers with more respect.
Yeah, they should indeed. I completely agree because I'm not. I'll admit I won't be buying anything in March or the end of February that warrants me getting that gift with purchase. I've already got my Jazz Club.
Yeah, I got my Jazz Club. I haven't built it yet, but I've got it. What do I do?
Yeah.
I mean, do I take it back like and say, "Can I'm gonna go buy it again at the end of the month"? You know.
Well, and I'm trying to remember. Also the minifig who, what's up, bud? Also said that they did that last year with the vintage taxi. The one that I remember is they came out with an add-on for the space shuttle, and they had such a very limited number of. It was a different payload. I think it was the.
Oh yes.
Why can't I remember it?
You know, I don't know what you're on about, but it kind of rings a bell. Something in the back of my mind, I kind of remember going into the Lego store.
I totally missed out on it because I didn't wake up at like 6 a.m.
We were all on about it in our group in the the chat we have. Oh, what payload was it?
They have done it a bunch of times, and I feel like they kind of leave it just long enough in between that people sort of forgive and forget, and then they do it again.
Yeah.
They pull the same move on us. They did it. You know, I'm not interested in football or soccer for the Americans, but I swear they did it with one stadiums where they did like a promo that had like 3 footballers as like a statue that is outside the stadium, but it only came like about, I know, a fortnight or 3 weeks after the initial release.
Right.
Oh no, I think with that one, it came out on the actual release date with the set, but VIP members had it, I think, about a fortnight before. So if you were like, "Oh, I'm a VIP, I'm going to get early access to it," you're a very important person, but not important enough to have the promo. You know?
Yeah, I mean I see how that is. I very rarely ever get something when it first comes out. Like the only thing I know of that I did that with was the space shuttle and the Titanic were the 2 ones that I was like, yeah, I got to get that immediately. Immediately. With post haste, with no delay. So like
Sam is trying to figure out now what it was that came with the space shuttle.
I am. Because
he's not going to sleep tonight until he figures out what it was.
Yeah, seriously.
We talked about it so much.
I do remember it. I can't think what it is, because obviously that's not really my bag. But I do remember when Joe started talking, something in the back of my mind was like, I remember going into the Lego store, talking to like the people there who I talked to, and like saying, "What's that gift for promo?" And they were like, "Oh, it's something to add on for the space shuttle set." And I was like, "Hasn't that been out for a while yet?" You know?
Yeah, and the funny thing is that it was, I immediately tried to find it secondhand somewhere, and it was like people were charging like $100 for it.
Yeah,
and you can get the instructions for it, and it was like $20 maybe worth of parts from Bricklink.
Oh,
yeah.
But you know what's funny is the kind of stuff like that stuff kind of remains exclusive, and you have to pay like scalpers prices if you want to get it. And then other stuff, they'll say to you, "This is exclusive," and then all of a sudden, then they're like re-release it like 3 times. Well, there you go. That's it.
Yes, that's it. What is it called?
Ulysses Space Probe.
Ulysses Probe. Yeah. And of course,
I remember because a load of us were on about it. The fact that you could mod it, or it was pretty much ready to go as an additional payload into the shuttle.
Is that a printed piece or a sticker on? I mean, either way, it's going to be something that you can't easily bricklink, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was a sticker.
Yeah, they've done a few things like that. The one annoying thing was, I remember when I went to the Stranger Things midnight launch, which it was originally it was a midnight launch for a mystery set. We all knew it was going to be the Stranger Things set, when we were there, and I've got footage of them. And they're going, "Oh, and we have a very special surprise today. There's going to be an exclusive build and take, free of charge, extra Stranger Things model." We were like, "Oh, fantastic!" And it was the buyer's castle, like these little den fort. They had some stickers on there. You were supposed to have one per person, but like some people were like picking up like the parts and the stickers for 3 or 4. It was madness. But then, funnily enough, like I remember about a month later, it was at a different store, and then like across the world. Then there was like it was available, I think, in the store on a certain day, and I was like, well, how is this exclusive then? Like like I don't really mind as much like that other people have it because if because I would be gutted if I didn't make it there and I couldn't get it. But why call it exclusive if it clearly was never intended to be exclusive? But then on the flip side, you have them doing stuff like the friggin' Mr. Freeze polybag, who, unless you were clever enough to wait for that golden period of like 6 weeks after release, you don't get.
Yeah. And I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, this is exclusive. Like only I can have it. If someone else has it, I'm mad about it. No, I hate when people are like that. Like, or like when they gatekeep some kind of fandom. Like you're not a real Star Wars fan.
Are you the gatekeeper? I am the keymaster.
This goes back to this is a similar discussion we've had when yourself, Crackle, were debating whether you have do a second run of your first Ghost Smashers minifigures. Because you were worried about the people who bought it initially, knowing it was only one of 25 or 2 of 25 already, that limited exclusive run that you actually went out your way to ask people and talk to people and go, look,
I mean, I did a poll to get like the wider sort of public view, and I also sent messages out to anyone who purchased them as well, emails out to get their opinions as well. And I'll be honest, there was only one person who was a bit miffed about it, and even they came around quite quickly when like, do you know what? My knee-jerk reaction is to go, no, it was exclusive. That's what I bought it as. You shouldn't make any more. But then I also think, well, I'm never going to resell these. So what difference does it make if other people are enjoying them as well? Which I thought was pretty cool. And I get it. We all have knee-jerk reactions to stuff. So I appreciated that. And what I did do is I did a compromise where I slightly altered the designs, and they're going to have slightly different packaging anyway. That makes it clear this is a second run. So it still retains some of the exclusivity for those who did it. But I was honestly so overwhelmingly pleased with the feedback and response I got of people who were like, yeah, absolutely, I love my figures, and I'm happy that you're doing well enough to have the demand to make more. Go and make more,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, no, I don't mean any offense with this, Craggle, but like, okay, how do I put it? Are people actually like collecting yours in anticipation of reselling them in the future? Like,
I don't know. I know people are collecting them because people have put posts up on there, and people who have sort of come and missed like the first set have said like, please do another run of that set because I missed out, and that's the only ones I need for my collection. So,
okay.
I mean,
he says okay, and he sounds so unconvinced that people would ever find any worth in something I produced.
Again, I guess I just don't understand the whole concept of like exclusivity in collecting something. Like, I understand if like, hey, back 50 years ago there were only 20 of this thing made, and so what I have is worth more monetarily. But like, for Lego to come out and deliberately say, oh, there's a limited number of these, this is going to be a collector item, like it feels like they're just like pumping the market.
Oh, like, yeah. I mean, in terms of my stuff, like there's a reason why I would do a limited edition of some figures, and that's mostly down to like production costs and the feasibility of producing something, and stuff like that. I am just one person, and there are certain upfront costs that I have to make.
For sure.
But in terms of people collecting them, I don't, going off the response that I had from people, I don't think people are collecting them necessarily because there's a small number of them. They've been collecting them just because they think they're really cool and they want to have them and they want to have the complete set.
Gotcha.
You
All
still
right.
seem unconvinced.
No.
Who are you, man? Just because China stole your designs, you think you're the big, high and mighty? People have stolen my designs as well, you know.
By the way, Keats has joined us in his murder sweater.
I was going to say, Joe, I did notice earlier you had a pussy on your lap.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I usually do. Oh, anyway. Anyways. So.
There's nothing new out on Lego really at the moment, is there? There's
Really?
nothing. There's nothing coming out. I don't think.
It's really crap. Although I do have something else Lego to talk about, but I don't want to. You know, I don't want to one take over the stream in terms of the Craggle show, even though we know that would be awesome. And two,
granted, yes.
I don't want to. You know, I worry that if I bring up another Lego-based topic, we're in danger of this actually becoming a Lego show.
Ooh, calm down there, buddy. Calm down.
Should I go for it?
Yeah, go for it. What's your
Okay, so I don't know if you're like on Instagram and following certain hashtags or stuff like that, but there has been on a number of accounts reports that some people were reached out to by Lego and took part in a survey about potential sets and how much they would pay, how much they would expect the price count to be, stuff like that. I did one a long time ago, but on that one, it was like there was no imagery. It was just a case of, you know, what kind of sets would you buy, and it was like, you know, different options for price thresholds. You know, what sort of piece count would you expect? These ones apparently had confidential images of what looks like, you know, renders, you know, but good renders of potential sets. And I should probably brought this up in front of me, but to give you a quick off the top of my head, one of them was an X-Men X-Mansion. I would say it looked from the images, and they are very pixelated and got confidential all over them because obviously they've been leaked by people who signed non-disclosure agreements when they did the survey. One of them was the X-Men Mansion, which I think is sort of comparable to. Do you remember back in the day the Batman Arkham Asylum Breakout set, which also had like a bit of wall with gates in it and a vehicle? It looks a little.
I don't remember that, but I guarantee Jacob Neely can tell us all about it.
It kind of reminds me of that in sort of like a little bit bigger, but in terms of the layout. There was also a buildable Simba figure, which looked amazing. Yeah, a little bit like that, but bigger. The X-Mansion looked like the kind of facade with a bit of gates, and I can't remember if it had a vehicle, but it definitely had a bunch of minifigures as well.
Cool.
There was also the buildable Simba looked gorgeous. The buildable Donald Duck they did as well looked like nightmare fuel. What else was there? There was actually a Legend of Zelda set, which confused people because they had 3 minifigures, 2 of which were different versions of Link from 2 different games. So fans are like, what is that about? There was a Batman the Animated Series set, which apparently is part of, they reckon would be part of the art series. It kind of looks, the best way to describe it is a skyline of Gotham City done in the same sort of style as the Van Gogh Starry Night, where it's like, it's not a flat mosaic. It has like, you know, protrusions of like skyscrapers and buildings and stuff. And that kind of like 3D element to it. What else was there? I forget now. I'm trying to remember what there was. Let me have a quick look. And we won't show them in case, because I know some people have had their accounts have strikes. Oh, there was an interesting one. There was Sleeping Beauty, like sort of diorama. Do you like the Star Wars diorama ones where they have like the scene on the black base? You had like the trash compactor and stuff like that.
Okay.
There was one of that of Sleeping Beauty, and it was the dragon, you know, from the cartoon of the purple and black dragon fighting the Prince. It actually looked pretty badass. I remember as a kid that was like a cool scene. There was also do you remember the Lego Castle or Lego Kingdoms Medieval Market set?
Ooh.
One of those ones that was come out during my dark age, and I was really like gutted that I missed out on it. It's like an updated version of that, but like what they've done is they've almost remade that set and then added on an extra bit.
Okay.
And yeah, as Minifig Who says, there were 2 Lord of the Rings sets. Was there 2 Lord of... Yes, there was. There were 2 Lord of the Rings sets. There was Rivendell, which is the the home of the elves where Elrond lives. And there was also, I forgot the name of it, the Castle of... It's the one basically with the Eye of Sauron on top.
Okay.
From what I can see in the images, the Rivendell looked like it was minifig scale. The Castle of... Mrs. Crackle is going to freaking tell me a new one for not remembering this, but the Eye of Sauron Tower, from what I could tell, looked like it was going to be more sort of in the similar scale of the the big Hogwarts castle.
Okay.
And then there was also a Snow White set, which is funny because a Snow White set recently got rejected from Lego Ideas, I believe, or if not this round, the previous round, and it looked very similar to that, where it was like a house and like a tree with a well and like the 7 dwarfs. Barad-dûr, that's it.
Yeah, Barad-dûr.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, some of them look fantastic, but I also have to say these apparently are potential sets. It seems crazy to think the Lego will go as far as having rendered models of sets that they don't intend on selling, especially ones with licensed issues. Because actually, there is also a Star Wars one, Return of the Jedi Jabba's sail barge, like a UCS Jabba's sail barge.
Didn't they do that?
I don't know if they did a UCS one, but don't forget, this is the anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and we have been getting some Return of the Jedi anniversary sets. Like the announced, Princess Leia's Bosch helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently in the survey it did stress out these are potential sets, not guaranteed to come release. But given the fact that Return of the Jedi, it's that anniversary, and also the Rivendell one has been rumored for ages that there's a Lord of the Rings Rivendell set coming. I think at least a couple of these are already guaranteed, and they're just sort of getting the idea of how popular they're going to be or what people are going to want to pay for them,
I'd buy Barad-dûr if they did that.
Yeah. I mean, Mrs. Craggle would fight over it because her white whale set is the Tower of Orthanc, which is it's a play set. It is a gorgeous play set. The Barad-dûr one does look more like a display piece, but it looks phenomenal.
Which castle is Barad-dûr? It's the
It's the one that has the Eye of Sauron on top.
Okay.
But yeah, I gotta be honest, they all look pretty good. I was a little bit disappointed with the Batman animated series one that it doesn't appear to have any minifigs, because I would absolutely love some Batman minifigs in the animated style. If anyone played the video game DC Supervillains, they did a DLC pack on that. That was Batman the animated series themed. So, and the designs for the figures in that for Batman, Joker, Phantasm, everyone looked phenomenal. So yeah, but yeah, lots of exciting stuff. I mean, I honestly think they would all sell well, even the Nightmare Fuel Donald Duck. But the Simba in particular looked gorgeous. Like, it's basically Simba as a cub, from the start of the Lion King. Not from the start, but, when he's a child, when he, the first half of the movie.
When he's an insufferable brat. Oh wait, he's an insufferable brat the entire movie.
You shut your whole mouth. We love Simba.
Simba.
So there was a guy at one of my university who actually was called Simba. It was his actual first name, and do you know what? He used to get so many girls making a fuss of him just because his name was Simba. They lapped that shit up.
I do not doubt it.
Oh dear.
Mrs. Crackle says she buy the Great Dooku tree. That's the Legend of Zelda one if it becomes a set. I mean, Legend of Zelda, God, that has been one of the most demanded licenses on Lego Ideas of all time, hasn't it? You know.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, the Snow White one I thought was interesting because I looked at it and was like, isn't that the Lego Ideas set they rejected? It's very, very similar. And again, that could be purely coincidental. But I guarantee you, if it does become a set, people will cry foul.
Yeah, they'll cry foul about that.
Like they did, with the Ghostbusters Firehouse and also the Jurassic Park gates as well.
Well, I mean, so I've been asked quite a few times, hey, why don't you put this or that on Lego Ideas? And it's like, because I have no guarantee about anything. Because then they own that design. Like, even if they don't choose it, I can't do anything with it. And even if they don't choose it, they could do exactly what you just said. They could just be like, we're going to use parts of it anyway. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I think we had a discussion on back when it was Unfiltered. We said, like, there is an element of, hey, you're using the same system to create something based off the same object or whatever, so there's going to be similarities. But also, there were some stuff, like, with the Jurassic Park gates that did feel like, whoa, this is very similar to a Lego Ideas project that got rejected twice. And you can say it might have been in development beforehand, but just the whole concept of it was almost identical to the fan project. It creates that level of, all right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah.
But yeah, the Snow White one looks identical from what I saw.
Snow White, it's a great movie and everything until you realize she's 13 and Prince Charming is like 25 or something.
Really? In what version?
Yeah, she's like 13 or 14.
I mean, with Snow White, I can see that becoming a thing, because don't forget, it is also 100 years of Disney. And
that's true.
Snow White was the first feature-length animated movie, and she's already features, I believe, in the Brickheads, 100th anniversary Brickheads that they're doing, or they've done.
Oh, yeah, she was. Yeah, we looked at that last week. Yeah.
And we have a good 10 or 15 years, I'm not sure, 10 or 15 years until they could actually do the 100-year anniversary of that movie coming out, so they could re-release the same set, earn more cash off of that, and
Yeah, I mean, they've got to try and stay relevant when they start losing the copyright for it. It goes into the public domain, haven't they? That was part of the reason why they did so many live action remakes. It was to, yes, okay, we're going to lose the copyrights on this, but if we get ahead of it, we can reaffirm these characters in the public consciousness as being Disney characters,
Yep. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's also not as simple as people make out, because, like, with Mickey Mouse is going into public domain. Is it next year or this year? I think it's next year.
This year.
It's this year, is it?
Yeah.
But it's only that iteration of him from Steamboat Willie, because, like, as a character, go on, they add new stuff to. You can't do that, because that was the thing with Sherlock Holmes up until this year. Anything that appeared in the later stories of Sherlock Holmes, any traits he had that didn't appear until later stories, couldn't be in unlicensed portrayals. So, like, his earlier stories, because they came out earlier, were in the public domain, and you could do Sherlock Holmes based off that. But, like, in the later books, when he started to mellow out a little bit and started to smile and stuff, and make more jokes and stuff, you couldn't do that, because that only happened in the later books, which were still protected under copyright.
Gotcha.
Which is why so many Sherlock Holmes portrayals never even, like, explore the sort of more jovial side that emerged when he spent more time with Watson and stuff,
Huh.
Because
Okay.
they're not allowed to. Now they are, but at the time. So the same thing is with Mickey Mouse, is like, they can do it, but they can't use, like, the iconic color scheme. They can only do black and white Mickey Mouse.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
anything like his
Well, I mean,
catchphrase and stuff.
When did his character go from being Steamboat Willie to Mickey Mouse? Like,
Well, he was Mickey Mouse in Steamboat Willie.
Okay.
The title of the cartoon was Steamboat Willie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was Mickey Mouse in that. Jacob says, what happens when Batman goes into public domain? Well, this is another problem that Warner Brothers have over Marvel is like a lot of Marvel characters were created in like the 60s. DC characters were created in the 40s. So there's going to be about 20 years where Marvel are like, haha, we still own our characters, you don't. But then the flip side of that, things with Batman was very much a character that evolved over time. Like in his first few appearances, he didn't have the no kill rule. He actually used a revolver. So when he goes from Red 3, first of all, there's going to be a period where...
Sorry, go ahead.
There's going to be a period where...
like, he was originally like more of a detective. Like that's the thing I keep hearing complaints about is like, hey, the modern day Batman isn't so much of a detective as he used to be.
He's a detective right up until modern day in the comics, depending on which ones you read. But yeah, definitely that has been dialed back, compared to what he was. And with Batman as well, stuff like Alfred. When Alfred first came into the comic, he was, I believe, a long lost relative of someone Bruce Wayne knew that kind of basically became an unwanted house guest, but somehow figured out Bruce Wayne and Robin's identities and kind of ended up like, well, we can't let you loose now, so you can just be our butler.
Wow. Wow, they blackmailed him into being a house servant.
He was a completely different character to the Alfred we know as being, the father figure who raised Bruce after his parents' death. So, once Alfred comes in the public domain, it won't be the Alfred that we know. So there is that sort of toss-up. I mean, we've seen with Winnie the Pooh at the moment. Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain. The first thing people did was they did a horror film based on Winnie the Pooh going around slashing people to pieces. I think it's called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. And it's already got a sequel greenlit.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So, that's something that we could see. We could see a horror movie of Mickey Mouse coming soon.
As you were saying about Donald Duck, like, he's already disturbing. A duck walking around pantsless. Yeah, so I finished rather quickly the
You finished quickly? Yeah, I hear that happens a lot with you.
Hey,
that's it. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. That was the joke.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I finished this thing rather quickly. No, a little faster than I wanted. No. Prematurely. No. I done did it fast. And, for being a plastic brick, it is kind of cute. Yeah, that's all.
I like how they've been consistent with those each year, though. Like when they did the different animals for the different years, they all seem, they've been going for a few years now, and they've kept that consistency in the format, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Though I've missed out a couple of years here and there, so I kind of a complete collection.
I mean, now I can.
No, so Jacob, one thing Jacob asks. Jacob says, once things go in public domain, can those things be copyrighted again? No. The idea is that you can only have copyright on something for a certain amount of time, and then basically everyone has the right to it. It's why Dracula pops up in so many different things.
Yep.
I think that's what there's more films or more media about Dracula than anyone else because he was like the first big pop culture character to enter the public domain. I know it sounds weird to say because it's based on like what was it? Was it 1800s the novel come out?
Yeah, 1800s.
Yeah, but that was basically at the time the equivalent to like a pop culture character. Yeah, 1897, so 19th century.
Wow. Yeah.
But
and the whole idea behind that is like copyright is there to protect the original person who came up with the thing. And it's this idea of like, well, no one's going to live past 75 years, which is what it used to be. Oh, no one's going to live past 100 years. So by the time the copyright runs out, the person who originally came up with it will be dead. They will no longer be able to profit off of it. But nowadays, since in America, corporations are people.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. The copyright
kind of dragged it out a bit longer.
I think it was 80 years or give or take originally. That wasn't put in place because no one's going to create something on their first day alive. But the average lifespan around then was 80 years. The idea was you have 80 years. That's more than going to cover the original creator, and then after that, then it comes into like the public ownership. But with companies buying IPs and characters, and Disney are the ones who are responsible for this. It's because that Mickey Mouse has come close to being in the public domain so many times that they've actually lobbied and extended copyright law, because Mickey Mouse should have been back in the public domain a while ago.
25 years ago.
So
yeah. So it's like
James Bond is another one. James Bond, I think, in the next 30 years, if not less, is going to be in the public domain.
That's interesting.
But again, it will be his first book, so you could only do stuff that appeared in that first book. So, like, characters that only appeared in the films or appeared in later books will be off the table until you get to that point. That book becomes public domain.
Yeah. So it's to me, this is a fascinating question because it goes back to the whole thing of like, hey, so many people hated the original, or I'm sorry, the prequel series of Star Wars, and people were mad at George Lucas, and it's like there is this kind of conflict between, well, it's his art, it's his stuff, he could do whatever he wants with it, but like he has released it into the world, now people own it, like not really own it, but like we do have a right to say like, hey, we own the original unmodified Star Wars trilogy. That's the example I was trying to think of. They will only release the special edition series, but the originals are like, don't we all own that as a society, as a group of people, as Star Wars fans? We kind of do, but legally we don't, because they belong to the original artist, who is arguably the guy who came up with an accidental classic, George Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we own them, but there's I get what you mean in terms of the word. There's lack of a decent word there, but there is definitely. I mean, I think it ties into. I don't know if you've ever seen the Jim Carrey film, The Man on the Moon.
I never saw that.
And in that one, like it talks about him and it shows him as a struggling artist. But like one thing that he often struggled with is that he was a great comedian, but often he did stuff with no audience. And it was like, well, who are you doing this for? And I feel like that's the case, like, with all artists, is that you want to be true to yourself and express yourself. But when artists also, art also goes into business, which it does with film, it's very much a business as well as an art form. I would argue it's a business first and foremost rather than an art form. You got to think
a lot of times, yes.
Who are you making this for? And as consumers, we still have a right to an opinion. I mean, it's always a case of people go, oh, well, let's see you write better. And I always say to them, would you go to a restaurant, have a shit meal, and go, oh, well, I can't complain because I couldn't cook better? You wouldn't. So why is it that you don't think that you don't have the right to complain about other stuff that you can consume? You absolutely do. Yeah. But you don't have to, I mean, I think it's wrong when you get to the point where you hound and start harassing an individual to the point where they want to have their own creation. But
yeah, it's when you get into the idea of like entitlement. Like, I'm entitled to the next season of Rick and Morty. I'm entitled to this or that, and it just gets like, all right, well, I don't think you understand how hard it is to make something like that.
Yeah, there's a balance with all things, isn't there?
Just like these Chinese knockoff companies are entitled to my design, but they can just go fuck themselves. You know what I mean?
You know what they can do, Joe?
What?
They can
fuck off.
Yeah, there is a balance. I think that, like, there's a discussion, and this probably is a philosophical discussion, if not an ethical one, of when you put art out into the world, how much ownership do you retain of it? But at the same time, I definitely feel like you always have the right to an opinion, but you also need to think as a human, how do you want to express that opinion?
Right.
And how the effect is going to have on other people. And I've had people slate my stuff and give me crap about it, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And part of it you have to sort of take on the chin, but we're all human, and sometimes one comment, and it won't even be the nastiest comment, it will just catch me on a bad day, will hurt more than others, So,
Right.
I think Jacob has gone off down a rabbit hole about wanting to do a Lego Ideas project with Batman.
Yeah.
Your homework.
I was going to ask, does this have to do with Batman?
Jacob, your homework for this evening, go and look up copyright law. We'll wait.
Yes. Yeah. Come back to us like a couple days, weeks, years, maybe.
Andy U says Walter's digging his way out of his grave right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. And welcome to the show, Andy. It's good to see you again. It's copyright law.
It does raise interesting questions because we're coming to the point now where in the next 20 to 30 years, so many characters that we think of as being associated with certain companies, from our generation and even our parents' generations, our grandparents, are going to become public domain. And it's weird because we're used to characters like Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and those sort of characters being, just characters that you can use, almost like fairy tale characters. They belong to no one. You can just use them in whatever. But once we start getting to a point where, technically, it could happen where Batman's first appearance goes in the public domain, and they have a character called Batman, literally based on that appearance, appear in a Marvel movie, and DC will be able to do nothing about it.
They won't be able to do a single thing about it.
Yeah.
But
then likewise, Warner Brothers could go F you and put Steamboat Willie into a movie and have him being like a sex fiend or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting time,
Yeah.
Well,
because like previously when this happened,
used to be a radio show.
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry.
There used to be a Superman
radio show, didn't it?
Yeah.
So again,
and it doesn't just happen with characters; it happens in terms of the media. Because like Steamboat Willie, when that goes in the public domain, it doesn't just mean that you can, sort of take that character, and as long as it doesn't, use anything that appeared in later iterations and do what you will with him, it also means that you could upload that cartoon to your YouTube channel and monetize it, and make money off it. It's happened with films like Nosferatu. You got many people publishing that on DVD who had nothing to do with the film's production, but the film is now in the public domain. I think this year Metropolis, which is one of the very first sci-fi movies, if you look at it, the robot on there was the inspiration for C-3PO's design.
C-3PO, right.
I think that goes in the public domain this year as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a crazy couple of years, or a few years, I think.
Definitely.
It's been about 15 minutes since Sam has said a single word, so I just wanted to unduly put attention on his face.
I wish we had the power to make him full screen.
People will just turn off.
Yeah. I wanted to show you guys. I did finish the BDE. The BDE, the big dick energy version.
BDE. Yeah.
It's
got a lot of girth.
It's got girth and thrust. It's got a lot of thrust.
It looks like there are 4 smaller penises worshipping a giant penis.
Yes, that's called diphalia, or this would be quintphalia.
Yes. That works.
Anyway, I just wanted
you're still married, yeah?
Yeah. She's crazy.
She likes it when Joe builds things like this. Adds a whole new dynamic to the
bedroom. When I met her, the whole time her eyes were screaming, "Help me!"
Oh, she's amazing. Anyway, I wanted to put my insanity next to the original Lego. Worship that Big Daddy. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Every time I hear Big Daddy, all I can think of is the BioShock video games.
Same. Well, as soon as I read that,
Same.
I was like, BioShock.
I was like, what does this have to do with BioShock? Oh, you're referring to the girth and power and thrust of my giant phallic symbols.
Of your BDE.
Yeah, my BDE.
Well, do you know how for years there's always like, who's your daddy was like a sexual thing, even though you don't want to have any incestual connotations. And in recent TikTok and new trend now is apparently mommy with an O, which I always thought was a British only thing. Apparently that's a sexual sort of term for, a really sexy lady is your mommy, right? And the problem is I've seen lots of hashtags with "Are you my mummy?" and all I can think of is Doctor Who.
Yes.
The gas mask.
With the
Are
gas
you my
mask.
mummy?
Mummy, are you my
Okay,
mummy?
I'm not the kind of person to like kink shame or anything, but I think I might be at the point where I'm going to start pushing back on this. The whole mommy thing, I'm not sure if I if I'm cool with that.
Yeah, like you haven't watched any Stepmom is lonely whilst your dad is away videos. Or Stepmom teaches me a thing or two.
Hold on, time out, guys. Post Andy U's comment. If you haven't played that, Andy, why are you watching us? Go get BioShock, play it, then come back and talk.
It is honestly one of the greatest video games of all time.
It is one of the greatest video games ever. BioShock 2 was okay.
Yeah, BioShock Infinite was phenomenal.
Oh. Speaking of
I think
mommy,
we broke down.
Elizabeth, holy crap. Okay, anyway. I'm
I mean,
kidding,
you know
Andy.
what?
Stick around. But for sure, like, if you haven't played BioShock and if you haven't played Mass Effect, I don't know, man.
I'm
I don't
not
know.
much with Mass Effect, but BioShock definitely. I'll tell you what, though.
Sam, my mouse pad.
Yeah.
With BioShock, there was a guy who had got past the first 5 minutes of the game, and he was telling us, like, it was all BioShock. It was everyone goes on about it. I couldn't get past the first 5 minutes. And he's like, I'm like, why? He goes, well, when you start and the voiceover says to you, put this needle in your arm and it will give you superpowers, and your character's meant to do that without asking any questions. That, to me, was so unbelievable. So which I replied, would you kindly play the game?
Play the game all the way
Everyone
through.
else in the room burst out laughing because they got the reference. This guy was like, no, but it's so crap. I was like, just play the game. And he's like, no,
Just
but it's
play
rubbish.
the game.
Play the game.
So I had a hard time getting into the first BioShock, but like I didn't quite understand. This was when I was more into like traditional shooters and like really into sci-fi. So kind of like the whole steampunk fantasy thing kind of grated on me. But once I got into it, like I tried it a second time, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then you get to the end and you're like, holy shit, that had a lot to say about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, the aesthetics of it, the Art Deco, the city under the sea, honestly, superb. Apparently, we are still going to be getting a Netflix series of BioShock. I'll believe it when I see it, because
I'll believe it when I see it. Well, we were promised a Halo movie and we got District 9 instead. I mean, that's...
I'm surprised because the missus watched the Halo series and she said she loved it, but she did have to disconnect it from the games. I read something that happens in it, and I was like, this is Mass Effect, not Halo, right?
Ha! Okay.
But yeah, I don't see me getting any joy out of the Halo TV series. But yeah, we were with BioShock. We were promised a film, and they were gonna film it. And apparently they were looking at doing sets where they would literally have sets, and rather than using all CG, they would have water tanks that they could move around behind the windows to create that effect. And
reminds me of one of my favorite movies back in the day before James Cameron just made retreads of old cartoons.
But Golf Vinsky, who at the time was riding high off the first couple of Pirates of the Caribbean films, was going to do it. And apparently it was all pre-production on it apparently was done. And they were very close to going to doing the filming it in Australia. and the funding was pulled because the studio didn't have confidence in it being at 18, and Goldvinsky was like, you can't make this film without it being, you know, an R rating, I guess, in America.
An R-rated? No, there's no way. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, we are talking about a video game that is like 15 years old.
Don't
Like, can you even find it anywhere? Yeah. No, it came out in the aughts, I swear.
You know, Joe, I remember at the time I was in university and I was working
2007.
part-time in Asda. And Asda at the time used to have this great deal where any brand new game that was in the chart was $29.99 rather than like the full
Jeez.
$49.99. And I bought that game just because I liked the look of the cover. I had read nothing about it. I didn't know what it was. Go home, had my food, waited till everyone went to bed. In the dark, put the game in. I almost shat myself within the first 5 minutes. I was freaking hooked.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. People forget the first one was a horror.
Yeah, it was a horror. It was a horror game, and it is scary at times. It's like legitimately scary. It came out in 2007, by the way.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Man.
David Austin, hello. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. The Abyss was a great movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people don't talk about it. It's a
very
great
much,
movie.
It's weird because it came out, you know, after Cameron had already become quite a big name, but it is treated, I feel, like a lot more like a cult movie.
Yeah. And it's a great movie. It scared the shit out of me when I saw it.
Scared the shit out of a lot of the actors because James Cameron almost made them die. Like he almost killed them and drowned them.
Also PG-13 rated movie with full frontal nudity in it. Of course,
yeah,
not really what you want, but James Cameron seems to like doing that.
In all fairness, like we said before, ratings back in the day, you know, I mean, also the fact that even if it was a harder rating, they'd still do children's merchandise of it. RoboCop was an R18. They still had friggin' lunchboxes and cartoons, which makes me surprised that the Aliens cartoon show got pulled. They still had all the merchandise for it, but they decided, oh, it's not appropriate. Like, literally a year before, you did RoboCop, the cartoon series.
I was going to bring that up. Like, I remember there being Aliens kids' toys. And now I think about it, I'm like, there is no way in hell
there was
going to be kids' toys.
An Aliens cartoon series. I don't know if they actually got into production of it, but they had all the merchandise. And there was a guy in my school who had like the backpack, which had the lunchbox and the flask in it as well, with all the characters on there. But RoboCop, they went ahead and did a cartoon series of. I remember, like, you know, and they had the
it was called RoboCop 3.
But then I grew up, like, I remember I was massively into Arnold Schwarzenegger films, and that was, like, for me, that was what I grew up watching, you know.
Wow.
So.
Okay, so here's a question for you. I found a few on Rebrickable. I found some instructions for a few of my favorite sci-fi ships from the 80s. So the Nostromo, well, that's technically from the 70s. So the Nostromo from the original Aliens, the Sulaco from Alien 2 or Aliens. Let's see if anyone gets this reference. The Leonov from anyone know what the Leonov is from?
Mass Effect?
No.
Wow.
2010, the sequel to 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I found a Discovery and a Leonov, and I'm like, oh, I want to build the Leonov so bad. Like, that is like, that and the Sulaco are the quintessential 1980s sci-fi starships. And only one of them is really a starship. But like, ooh, I want to build those so bad. But I'm stuck building I'm such a loser. I'm stuck.
You just build the same rocket over and over
this.
again in white.
Yeah. Just. Oh.
No, Joe, I think you need two hands on that, mate.
I'm just gonna knock it over and destroy the loop coaster.
Oh my
that
word.
coaster. Stand by.
Oh, I knew he was gonna do that.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Not even touching the sides. It's like throwing a frankfurter down a wishing well.
I'm sorry. I'm a 15-year-old stuck in a 40-year-old man's body. Okay, so I guess like along the line of Lego, they would never make an official xenomorph or like an alien set.
You think, right? But then this is the company that did Lego Stranger Things.
Yeah. Which is
like I love my Lego Stranger Things sets. You know, the set. I've said this probably numerous times, but the set is what pushed me to finally get around to watching the show. And I love Stranger Things, and I've got like a whole collection of custom minifigures. But Stranger Things is not a property that is in any way appropriate for Lego, official Lego.
And it's not. No. It's not for kids. Even
it has. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I would have watched when I was a kid, but that's because I was born in the 80s, you know. But it has sex references, it has drug references, alcohol, smoking, all the things that like violence, horror.
It has 80s style mullet haircuts. No child should ever see that.
But then what's funny is that, do you know what? On this, I do wonder if this is part of the American divide.
Okay.
So many people are commented on my Cobra Kai CMF video, and in the start of that, I'd say that I did briefly consider whether Cobra Kai was acceptable for Lego, but they did Stranger Things, and in my opinion, Cobra Kai is way more appropriate. So many people have gone, no way is Cobra Kai more appropriate. I'm like, of course it is. Like, it's based on, it's a sequel to The Karate Kid, which were children's films anyway.
Yeah.
You also, like, yes, okay, there's the odd swearing, but there's way more swearing in Stranger Things. There's no real hardcore sex references in Cobra Kai at all.
Okay.
The violence is martial arts violence. You know, it's not people, getting ripped apart by monsters. But apparently, like, for some reason, there's this thing where a lot of people have, and I mean, like, I've had like a dozen comments of people going, Cobra Kai is way too inappropriate for Lego, but they're okay with Stranger Things. It's like, I don't understand it. I have encountered before where, for some reason, in America, like, it seems that violence is fine, guns in particular are fine, but if you start showing like sex and have the F word, then that's not allowed.
And you're talking to the wrong person if you want me to defend that, because
like, the example someone gave was they're like, oh, but they dropped the F-bomb in Cobra Kai. And
this subject baffled me since I was a teenager, when I all of a sudden realized, wait a second, like, killing someone is really finalized. Like, that's a finality. That's like having sex before you're married. You know, back then, I was like, yeah, that's bad, but I don't see how that's as bad as having sex. And then that just worked on my brain for a very long time until I realized, oh, I live in a country founded by people who were so puritanical that they were kicked out of England for being puritanical assholes. Like, and that decision has echoed through the centuries until... Never mind, I'm not going to go there.
No, but I mean, not even looking into that.
We've joked about my religious past, and I don't like joking about it all that much.
But just as a cultural divide, you know, not even looking into the reasons behind it, it does baffle me.
It is a huge issue here in the United States, and we will be going really far away from Lego if we start talking about that. So
that is the only reason why I can think of that people are like, Cobra Kai is not good for Lego, but Stranger Things is fine. And even that, you know, there's no... I struggle because I would still argue there's more like sex references in Stranger Things than in Cobra Kai, but for some reason, some guy, you know, apparently dropping the F-bomb once in Cobra Kai means that the whole show is no longer suitable for Lego, but Stranger Things can do what they want. I mean, you've seen the latest season of Stranger Things, right?
Yes. I haven't seen the last season, no.
Oh, the last season definitely wasn't suitable for kids. But like the end of the first episode, we're like, yeah, I can't see Lego making a set based on this season.
Okay.
I mean, Andy,
Anyway.
sorry, beg your pardon. David Austin does raise a good point. Lego does have a boner for mechs.
Because they're very well suited for making some kind of mech. Like, I have seen, I mean, come on, we've all seen Aliens, right? Like the power loader that Ripley gets in to beat the shit out of the Queen Alien. Like, I've seen several Lego, mocks of that.
You know how they get around that, though, don't they? It's because the power loaders are also an Avatar, so they just do it based on Avatar instead.
That's true. David. Speaking of people having boners for things, I think a lot of James Cameron's movies have a lot of the same things and recycle certain imagery a lot.
Yeah. But apparently it's still the biggest film of all time, even though it's had like zero cultural impact.
I'm not even entertaining the idea of going to see it.
I've asked someone to give me a famous quote from Avatar, the first film, and do you know what? No one has been. Even people who liked it have not been able to quote it. Do you know how you make quotes from films all the time?
I can make one quote.
Go on.
One quote. You are not in Kansas anymore.
But that's not even from that film. That's originally
exactly.
That's a quote of a quote. That's not. That doesn't work.
I remember watching something. I can't remember what it was, but somebody said they loved the line in this film where they went, like there's a storm coming, and I was like, you do realize that in itself is a reference to Terminator, right? And they were like, oh, I hate that film. I was like, but you love a film that makes a reference to it. Like,
to a movie you hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oh, I know. The bad guy in Avatar 1 said, "Nah, I will get all of the unobtainium." I think that was a direct quote. As he was twirling his mustache.
Did he even have a mustache?
Oh, right, he didn't.
It shows how memorable the movie is. That like.
Okay, so as a sci-fi nerd, I definitely liked their starship and a few other things about it. Yeah,
I think we've talked about that before. That spaceship was like,
yeah, but wasn't it just an extension of what he'd already done in Aliens?
No, no, the starship.
I remember watching the first trailer and thinking, "Oh, this has got to be in the same continuity as Aliens because that tech looks exactly like the Colonial Marine stuff."
Right. It's no, I'm talking about the starship that they took to get from our solar system to their solar system, and it was.
Oh, I can't even remember that.
Yeah, but like I'm the kind of person who does remember that because I looked it up, and it's like, oh yeah, that actually follows the laws of physics. Oh no, that was a well-designed starship. Okay, Jacob says I've never seen the first Avatar.
You're not missing out.
Yeah, and you know what? You can get a decent way into playing BioShock before that movie ends, and you will be more uplifted from that.
Basically, what you want to do is you want to go down to your local VHS rental store and say, "Can I please have Fern Gully?"
Go to Blockbuster.
Or if you're a little more adult,
Dances with Wolves.
Yeah. And just imagine the Native Americans are giant blue cat people.
Dude.
Okay, sorry. A lot of people really like it. You might like it. I'm not going to sit here and say you won't like it. It's.
I still don't know anyone who's gone. I told you I know one person who went with their family to go see Avatar 2 as their family movie night, and they had the whole screen to themselves, like on a Friday at 7 p.m., which is like prime time. And like keep on saying, I keep getting articles. Avatar 2 continues to break all box office. It's a massive hit with fans and critics alike. How is it? Who has seen this? Who is going? Is it just like one person who's just got like an infinite ticket or something? Is it fucking Elon? It's Elon Musk, isn't it? He's just there like buying continuous tickets and not going to see the movie or something. I think
it's being driven by foreign. in foreign to the U.S. sales. So
Even then, it is very sus. And I've read a few articles. Funny
Sluts,
enough,
Andy.
have
You
been-
both said it at exactly the same time.
I read a few articles that say, like, you know, when it and then these articles, funny enough, are always sort of buried under more popular media outlets, which you look into, are owned by Disney. That are like, how is it that it's making so much? And one, you know, the biggest thing you've got to take into account is inflation. You know,
Yeah.
that's, you know,
No, we
most-
talked about
most
this
big
last
films-
week.
Yeah,
We talked about this last week, and it's like it's not even hitting close to the adjusted for inflation gross sales numbers. Like, yeah, it's making a lot of money for sure. And I guess that's what matters right now, is it is making a lot of money. But
yeah.
So?
Disney definitely need a hit, don't they? So,
Yeah.
they just got it right in the vein.
because apparently they're saying now they've lost money on the acquisition of Fox.
Have they?
Yeah, apparently they're now regretting it, and there's rumors that they might be looking to offload, basically break up Fox and offload it to other studios.
Okay.
So, like, they just cherry pick the parts they want. You know?
Yeah, that's it. Take the parts that are going to do well for them. Get back their Marvel characters, and that's it. Everything
I mean,
else.
to be honest with you, I would much rather have something like Alien and Predator and Planet of the Apes in the hands of Warner Brothers than Disney. I don't know about you.
Because Disney has their hands full with other money-making ventures, like
I know,
just
but
beating the shit out of Marvel until they get more money out of it.
I've
Like,
seen so many people go, "Oh, but Prey was awesome, and that was made by Disney." No, it wasn't. It was already being made by Fox before Disney acquisition went through. Have you seen Prey? Anyone by
I
chance?
haven't, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I think I should.
Yeah, it's really good. If you're an old school Predator fan, I highly recommend it.
Okay.
And it's more interesting than Avatar.
Well, that's freaking hilarious.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So I had the two Chinese New Year models. I just randomly put them aside.
Yeah.
This is how they were sitting. Okay, anyway.
I just got flashbacks to freaking Dark Helmet and Spaceballs when he's playing with his toys.
I was thinking more Zootopia, but okay.
Oh,
I was about to
Zootopia.
ask.
So my favorite bit of trivia about Zootopia is that the director, he never said this to anyone, but he made it so that it fits in the same universe as Disney's Robin Hood. Like, Zootopia is the future of that Robin Hood past. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious because that was one of my favorite movies growing up.
I mean, I loved it when there was all those theories about Tangled and Frozen being interconnected, because
Yes.
the one
Yeah.
princess disappear in it, and also linking to Little Mermaid. And there was all these great theories, and fans got off on them, and yeah, it did work. And then all of a sudden, then Frozen 2 came out, and with a really shitty sequel, just blew those theories out of the water for a storyline that no one cared for or enjoyed.
Oh,
That's it.
did you not? You didn't like the second one?
Oh, I hated Frozen 2.
Okay, all right.
It was so
I enjoyed
bad.
it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you would.
Yeah, whatever. When you have a kid, your standards drop. I guarantee it.
I really didn't. I mean, I didn't think I was going to like Frozen 1, and I really enjoyed it. But Frozen 2 was just abysmal. I felt like they didn't get the
Okay.
characters. They did some questionable retcons with the story. The songs were horrendous. And the only thing I liked about it was the little chameleon, the little salamander thing. The salamander thing, yeah.
Oh, my dear friend Neely, Cameron Lunt is here. It wasn't so bad. Chill. Thanks, bud.
What wasn't so bad? Avatar or Frozen?
No,
2?
Frozen 2. Anyway,
I mean,
so hey,
Frozen 2 is probably better than Avatar. So.
Oh yeah, I'd see Frozen 2 again over going to see Avatar.
But didn't also Frozen 2, if I remember correctly, there's things there that also contradict the short film they did that was meant to be set in between the two of them.
I don't
forget.
remember.
It's like,
I don't know,
I
but
really
did-
don't like the idea that they're doing Inside Out 2 and they're not even
Yeah,
bringing back the original cast.
Wait, are
See,
they?
that annoyed me when I heard
Yeah.
that. 'Cause the original cast
Hmm.
for that was really good.
I mean, everyone's like, oh yeah, but you can see how her emotions change as she grows up. I don't need to. You had that little tease at the end of it. That was enough. I don't want to have a whole
Yeah.
franchise of it. And then
Yeah,
they're
hey,
also doing a
you know
Disney
what?
Plus special that's going to be a sequel to Up, and it's going to show Carl going on his first date after his wife's death. Why do we need this? No, leave it
You don't
alone.
need Leave it
Yeah,
alone.
no, thank you. No, I would like to say, Mr. Disney, no, thank you, sir.
No, thank you,
Get
Mr.
back in the
Disney.
grave.
Look, I already had Disney make moisture come out of my face from the first one. I don't need to see that again.
Yeah, but again, it's like, who's asking for that storyline? It told a complete story. Leave it be.
Yeah.
And especially the way that Disney are producing crap at the moment with their animated movies.
Yeah.
I have no, even with Pixar, even Pixar are not, batting very well at the moment.
Huh. I haven't seen one I haven't liked. But anyway, what was that?
Oh, Jacob was just doing an Arnie quote. Ice to see you.
Nice to see you. Actually, Jacob, we spell his nickname Neely. Okay. Oh man.
And that's
Okay,
because he's
David.
always on his knees.
Okay, look, let me just say this. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull just was too much, and it just you know what? Okay. Let me say this. Show me what you got. Okay, you're making a fifth Indiana Jones movie. Show me what you got. But you know what? There are standards here, okay? And you kind of butt fucked it on the last one. So show me what you got. If it's great, it's great. Okay. But I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't want to see poor Harrison Ford. Where's my salve? I need some painkillers. Like walking across, trying to lift a shaking whip in his hand. Like I don't know, man. This nostalgia.
At what point does it become exploitation of the elderly?
Yeah,
That's where I'm going. It's already gotten to the exploitation of my childhood. I'm just like,
You gotta think. I know it's crazy, but we're now 8 years since The Force Awakens, and I enjoyed Han Solo in The Force Awakens. But that is like about as old as I want Harrison Ford in an action role,
Yes.
And it was as many complaints as I have about the sequel trilogy. They did Han Solo well. Like they did it okay.
That's the thing.
Like,
Han Solo they did well. It's Luke and Leia they screwed over.
Again,
let's not get into that because I know you like the second.
Yeah,
one.
I remember we're not allowed to talk about this. So,
but yeah, in terms of Indiana Jones, I have a number of issues. I mean, one of the things that I do defend about Kingdom of Crystal Skull is people hate how he survived the nuclear bomb in the lead-lined refrigerator.
Lead-lined fridge.
I don't care about that.
I actually care about that. I think that's fine. To me, I don't understand why you can't accept that, but you can accept him surviving a plane crash in a rubber dinghy in Temple of Doom. And I'll be honest, the shot of Indiana Jones looking up against the mushroom cloud is fucking iconic, and I love that imagery.
That is true.
What I don't like is the CGI monkeys, the freaking aliens who aren't aliens, the space within space, all that stupid stuff. Shia LaBeouf, all that crap. I can't stand all that. Ray Winston being a double agent who's not actually a double agent, who says
who's a triple agent.
Yeah, he says, it's okay, Indy, let me go. And then as soon as he's let go, he screams.
Yeah.
It just is so
I love the part where Mud is Tarzan. Yes, thanks, Jacob.
Yeah.
No, it's oh, by the way, Mythbusters did both of those, by the way.
Oh, really?
Jumping out of a plane using a raft. They did that. You can survive that. And what was the other
They
one?
actually set off a nuclear bomb? What is the budget on the Mythbusters nowadays?
Yeah.
The key to surviving that is not that he survived the blast. It's being tossed around in a fridge.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
the way
like
that
having
the dinghy was done, though, in all fairness, if you watch that dinghy scene in Temple of Doom, it will definitely break your sort of expectation of real life physics, though. The way, I honestly, I even enjoyed the 1950s setting because it acknowledged the passes of time from the 40s. What I don't like in the new one is we're going to have Nazis again, and it feels like, oh shit. I mean, I thought the Soviets as the villains were really good. Kate Blanchett was really good. John Hurt was like completely wasted in his crazy hermit dancing role.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you been to the United States recently?
Not recently.
No. We have a few Nazis still.
Yeah,
Anyway,
everyone goes about the nuke the fridge being the worst part. That was not the part that killed it for me.
That's not the part that killed it for me.
What I don't like about the new one is, well, one of the many things is once again we have the trope of a new blood character putting down the legacy hero.
Yeah.
You know the Phoebe Waller-Bridge. They're saying, "Oh, she's not going to replace Indiana Jones. She's not going to be the new Indiana Jones." Yeah, but in the trailer, she's there, and like he's like, "Oh, she's my goddaughter. Oh, we're barely related." You're like trying to distance herself from him, like, "Oh, he's an embarrassment." I get so tired of that trope, you know, of, "Oh, we need to make our new characters look good." I know, let's put down the old characters. The new characters look better. No, let's write a good new character, you know?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Shia LaBeouf. Anyway, so is there anything else Lego related we need to talk about? Are we missing anything? Or do we need to talk about The Thing, guys? Or are we going to save that for later?
I'm going to save that right for the close, I think.
Okay, all right.
Suspense. They got 20 minutes. They got 25 minutes of suspense yet.
Yeah. He's building up the tension. 25 minutes. I hear that's going to be a record for him to last.
So, the thing I've been working on this week, I never really got around to talking about this. The thing I've been working on is continuing the instructions for this. Let's just be clear for this motherfucker right here. It's
Are you going to be marketing it as the Saturn V BDE?
I think I am.
But just don't say what BDE stands for.
And just people will ask, what does BDE stand for? I'm like, your guess is as good as mine. But it has to do with...
Just backtracking very quickly, I just want to see MC Meisner's comment. It's okay to let legends ride off into the sunset. We don't need to have a replacement for Indy's character. 100%.
Thank you, Neely.
You know, a lot of people, they count the end of the Last Crusade as being the end of the character. And you know what? I said this before, I really want Disney to get the rights to, if they haven't, I think there's some dispute with Paramount, to the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles and put that on there, because I'm quite happy of having the idea of old Indy being an old man with an eye patch, being a creator in a museum who tells kids stuff, about his adventures, but not divulging the fact that it's actually him who's the hero in the stories, you know?
Yeah. No.
He even also might have been the inspiration for Tom Baker's cameo in The Day of the Doctor.
I could be a curator, you know.
I could be the creator of this museum.
You know, I really think you might.
Just recite the whole scene. Honestly, you should. When we first watched that, Mrs. Craggle, because her favorite Doctor is the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker. She squealed like I've never been able to make her when that happened.
Oh yeah,
Doctor.
No. When I heard that line, I sat there and went, "Oh my god."
You know what we're gonna do? Do you ever seen Clockwork Orange? You know when they have those things that prop their eyes open? We're gonna get one of those, strap it to Joe, and just sit him in front of a box set of Doctor Who until he becomes a fan.
Do you do that? Do you do that? I'm gonna make you watch hours of documentaries on the Saturn V. Like,
I think you're mistaken. I think Craggle knows everything he needs to know about the Saturn V.
no, you don't.
I did a video on it.
Yeah, I've seen it in his video.
Sure.
The video that Joe still hasn't watched.
Maybe we need
Sorry,
to.
I have a day job. I have a day job, and
the
this
video
is
is
in the
like
middle.
all of like, was it 5 minutes long? So I can see where you don't have time in your busy schedule for it.
He's too busy playing with his BDE.
Mhm.
Some people might say he's compensating for something.
Needs to get a bigger load into space.
Okay,
I mean,
have to show you this.
speaking
Stuff.
of space, I do actually. I don't know if I announced it in the last one, but I have launched pre-orders for my Wormhole Extreme minifigures, Desert Team.
Sorry.
So if you want to
Yeah.
take, what was it? Are you going to bring them up there, Sam?
Boom!
Boom. Pre-order Wormhole Extreme. I love it, man. Just you are tickling. You are tickling the clit of IP infringement. Just so close. You're just come sue me.
Yeah,
I love it.
Because you know your things aren't based on actual creations, are they?
They are based on actual creations, but guess what? They're in the public domain.
I'm just going to show them the clip of when you said that when you put something out that the viewers own it, and just use that as my defense.
Okay. No, dude, these are really well made. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, they look like the characters that they are allegedly supposed to be.
And also, again, this is going to be something that Joe knows nothing about because if it ain't NASA related, he doesn't know about it. I've done 2 new pre-orders for some of the evil undead figures.
Oh.
We've got the Demonic Mother and El Burro Especial, which are inspired by characters from Ash vs. Evil Dead. So, and they are up for pre-order right now.
Yeah.
Go to cutthecraggle.com to get yours.
Go get them, suckers.
What are you doing, suckers? What are you trying to say about my customer base? He's so unsupportive. We show nothing but support and enthusiasm for all his friggin', the same rocket redesigned like 85 times. I put some figures up, but he just starts pissing himself laughing.
Hey, man, if it works, it works. I mean, you're just recoloring the same few pieces over and over again.
Oh, hang on. Whoa, easy now.
Whoa, easy.
Honestly, if I had a wet fish...
You'd do what? Tickle its clit?
Oh, dear. I don't know what I'm going to do with you two.
I think Joe is taking some happy juice. What's happened to him?
I don't know.
JoeChambers.exe has stopped running.
Oh no, it's empty.
Would you like to wait?
By the way, this is one thing that I learned when we met up is that Joe Chambers is a lightweight when it comes to alcohol beverages.
Actually, what's really funny is last night my wife was like, "Wow, you hold your alcohol well." I'm like, "Honey, you saw Craggle and Sam drinking? No, I don't."
I don't even drink anymore.
Okay, I do have to show off this though. These are all the parts. 99% of the parts for just the mobile launcher part of the new LUT. So just that much.
I just got a shiver down my spine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just puked in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah. Well, don't share that with everyone.
How is it okay that he shares his crap and I share mine and he starts crying with like tears of laughter?
I'm not
You know
sure
what
if
you
it
are,
was
Joe? You're a
laughter or
racist.
tears of joy.
You're a Welshist. That's what you are.
Welsh.
I'm an anti-Welshist.
Yeah. Oh, David Austin says, any more Scooby villains on the horizon? Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay. I've been meaning to ask, did you and Mrs. Croggle watch Velma? I will take it from your silence that
I tried.
okay.
But, oh my word. So, if you were on my members only Discord, which by the way, viewers, you can join for the low price of 99 pence or 99 cents US, you would have seen we've had many humorous discussion on there about Velma and many memes on there as well.
I watched the first 5 minutes and then I had to go do something more important, but my wife watched the first couple episodes. She says it's okay, but I'm just reporting back what she said. So I don't really have any opinion.
Yeah, I mean, do you trust her opinion?
Well, she did marry me, so how in God's name could I ever trust her? Like,
yeah, that's a fair point.
Isn't it like one of the lowest rated shows on Rotten Tomatoes of all time?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I don't have an opinion. I just know that Mrs. Craggle is a really big fan of Scooby-Doo, so I wanted to ask if.
What do you mean, Mrs. Craggle?
Okay, you're a big fan too. I know, but I wanted to bring her into the conversation here a little bit. She might be a little conflicted.
I googled Rotten Tomatoes, and the third option was Rotten Tomatoes Velma. I should tell you all you need to know.
Okay.
Apparently, it is the worst rated animated TV series in IMDb history.
Wow. People are passionate about that, huh?
I think it's because not only is it bad, but it's very clearly pushing an agenda which, to be honest with you, is toxic.
Okay.
It's like trying to be. I'm trying to think of the correct word for it, but it's stirring up stuff for the sake of it. And people have said, like, if it was written by, someone of a different gender and different race, there would be, universal condemnation by the press. But instead, it's like they tried to sort of push it as being progressive, and it really isn't.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. I didn't want to bring up any butt hurt, anything.
One of the comments I liked, I saw Space and won't mind me sharing on Discord when Velma was getting slated was it's fun to come across something so bad that absolutely no one has a positive review of it. It's just nice for all sides to come together. We all come together in our low opinion of a show.
Do
Okay.
you know what though? Right, I'm just looking at the comments on for the critic reviews for season 1 on Rotten Tomatoes. Most of it is darn right. Yeah, it's just a mess. It's rubbish. Except one guy, Patrick, from HollywoodChicago.com. I don't understand the backlash. This is both hilarious and in the same cadence as Never Have I Ever.
Never have I ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not Scooby-Doo, mate.
Diverse Scooby-Doo comedic reboot makes more sense than an Archie Comics Riverdale. It's called Evolution, people.
Okay.
No. I think he's been smoking something.
I mean, I'm actually on a couple of like Scooby-Doo forums and stuff, and I think the general opinion is that we are in the middle of a Scooby-Doo Dark Age right now because I think the last animated film was decent, but the ones prior to that have been pretty horrendous. There's no real good animated show at the moment. I think Scooby-Doo and Guess Who is kind of like in limbo, and then you've got Velma, which is just a turd of existence.
Yeah.
and also the Scoob. The Scoob film wasn't great. I really didn't like it. I understand what they were trying to do, but there were elements of it I liked, but overall it was very disappointing. But the second one was completed and scrapped by Warner Brothers for tax purposes.
Oh, jeez.
So it feels like, at the moment we're coming to a point where we're going to be in a Scooby-Doo Dark Age again, which did happen in the 90s for a while.
I don't want to make fun of the thing that you guys love so much, but the original series is just the same plot over and over and over again. You do realize that.
We don't need this kind of negativity in our lives.
No, don't.
What I love is that he holds up 2 nondescript clear plastic tubs of bricks and goes, "Hey, all these bricks are just the base of this thing I created, which is based on something else. We show custom makeup minifigures, enthusiasm for stuff, and he just rips shit into us." So I would like to say, by the way, we are on the lookout for a new co-host. If you'd like to apply, please send us an email or drop us a comment.
Hang on a second. He's playing with his spaceships.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I was having a nostalgia moment.
I'm not even going to ask when.
By the way,
would be attacking each other.
I agree with both David Austin and Jacob Neely. Mystery Incorporated, I was late coming to. I watched after it aired, but if you wanted to do a more edgier, and I use that word, loosely, but version of Scooby-Doo, Mystery Incorporated definitely nailed it. It was still respectful and played homage perfectly to the originals, but did feel like it had grown up a bit as well.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
Anything else that I love and hold dear my heart that you want to bring up and then just rip shit into?
No. Wait, maybe. I'm not going to say no for sure. I apologize for using that joke. It is it's a tired old joke, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I did watch a show once where some comedians were talking about Scooby-Doo, and one of them comes to the realization that, hey, Scooby-Doo is basically Psycho for kids.
Oh my gosh.
How Psycho, the guy is dressing up in his mum's clothing and they have to unmask him. And they're like, yeah, that happens in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a weekly review of Norman Bates.
That's hilarious.
Hot Dog Water, Hot Dog Water was a great character.
Yes.
You've seen Mystery Incorporated, right, Sam? I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Hot Dog Water.
We talked about that when you were doing all your characters and everything.
Oh, the CMF, yeah.
Hold on. Why is David bringing up Limp Bizkit? Hot Dog Water? I don't get it.
Oh, Joe.
Okay, all right. I'm done.
I think you're a Limp Bizkit.
You know what? I think you're a wilted muffin.
Yeah?
How could I possibly be a Limp Bizkit?
Because your wife told me.
Oh!
I said.
Don't trust her. Don't trust her.
I said, hey, Mrs. Chambers, how is Joe's penis? And she said, neither filling nor satisfying.
See, what happens when we all get together is loose lips sink ships.
Or make them bigger.
Oh, dear.
Why do they always devolve to a point on these streams? I feel like we need to have someone to keep us in check. I thought that was Sam, but he just sits back and enjoys the show.
He's just like he has turned from a host into a no. Let's just see these two fuck each other
he's
over.
like the parent who sits like in the canteen overlooking the pool, watches the two children drown each other.
Yeah, let's get back and just drink more wine again. Crack on that.
He plies us with alcohol, throws a knife into the middle of the room, and just says, "Have at it."
I'm glad you recognise my role in this.
How in God's name did you become the reasonable one? How?
I would have thought if in any stream or anything I ever did, I would not be the reasonable or adult one. First of all, I'm the youngest.
You say that, but in all fairness, when I'm about to send a reply to someone who's been bitchy or horrible to me, I do send it to you to just say, right, just check that I'm not going too far with this message.
I need to talk to you more often, Sam.
For example, like this is kind of swinging back to Lego with my custom minifigures. A lot of the ones I do are pre-orders, right? And I put pre-order. It's the first word in the listing. It's in capital letters, big text, and I put on there in the description in asterisks, pre-order item, estimated shipping. I also say that there might be delays, which keep you informed. I've had someone kick off at me, and this person basically is not even the first, but the first to do it with such venom, because they pre-ordered stuff in December, and in January they're like, "Where is it?" The pre-order items were pre-orders for April. And they're like, but I pre-ordered this in December. Yeah, if an item is going to be released in April and you pre-order it in December, it's not going to arrive any quicker than if you pre-ordered it in January.
Oh, I mean, this
That's
just
how
reminds me
pre-orders
of
work, you know?
This just reminds me of why I had to go through my Etsy shop and literally rename everything to instructions for yada, yada, yada. And I still had motherfuckers coming to me being like, "I haven't received my Lego set yet."
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay, anyway, sorry.
I'm grateful. I will say I'm grateful for anyone who purchases my stuff and shows support, but
Me
what I'm
too.
not grateful for is when people get rude and abusive because they've misunderstood something, you know?
Yeah.
For that, I just have no tolerance for.
I do have to say that repeatedly. I am thankful for anyone who even comes to my Etsy shop. Thank you. Appreciate it. You are feeding my addiction, and you should go to jail for doing that. But thank you.
That was like a weird, thank you message then.
I was going to say, I'm not going to pander to the customers. If you want to buy my stuff, you buy my stuff. If you don't, you don't.
Even now, I get angry just thinking about it. That person that left the review having trouble opening it, 3 stars. It's a fucking PDF.
Oh, gets me annoyed. Oh. But what did I tell you? Just share with the class what I said. You should reply back to that woman last night.
Oh, you want me to find it?
Yeah. Just that one line. Just that one.
Just the one line. Where's the one line? Okay, wait a sec. So I went to Sam, right, with saying like this message had caught me on a bad day at the end of a bad week, and I didn't know what to say. So bear in mind, as I've mentioned, I often go to Sam to proofread or just have a look over the tone of what I've sent because he's the sensible one. His message to me was, "You should send, fuck you, you unappreciative hoe bag. Your damn parcel will arrive when it arrives. I'm not the damn postman." So it's not always the sensible one.
Well, welcome to another episode of Poor Customer Service Relations.
I'm kind of grateful Craig never did send that, but
Andy Yu is also still waiting for his Stargate Lego set, by the way, Sam.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody's waiting for one of those.
Yo, where the fuck my building kit at?
People, I think I've told before, like, do you know, like, they have, like, the brick-built models in Lego stores, and they had one of BB-8 that sort of came up to, like, your knee. And people, when the actual buildable BB-8 set come out, a few of them come back to the store to complain that they thought it was the one that was the model. Like, how do you think that amount of bricks gets into this box and also costs that much? You know?
Oh dear.
That's great.
It's what I've
Right.
said, and I know that this is not not an exclusive sentiment to me, but common sense is now a rare commodity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should say that this is definitely an absolute, minute percentage of those who have bought from me. And again, I 100% thank you everyone who's purchased anything from my store,
Yeah.
and supported me. It's just when you get the negative ones who are stuff like that, it hits hard because we are just people. I'm not a big corporate business. I do take it to heart sometimes, even though I try not to. And this one the other day really got to me a bit. So I was glad of Sam's friendship and him making me chuckle with that comment.
Yes, and Neely has said it correctly. COVID gave us all brain rot.
I feel like it was happening before then, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
I think what COVID did is that a lot of people who previously it would have no business ordering anything online have now got into the habit of ordering everything online, and then when things don't exactly work out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay.
So we're coming to the end of the show.
Say it's not true.
No.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
So we've got some news to share with you all first.
We do.
Next week there will not be a show. I'm in Wales.
I'm in Wales. We should totally hook up.
Yeah.
You bring the rubbers, I'll bring the lube.
That's it. I'm sorry.
Good night, everybody.
So yes, next week I'm in Wales, so there will not be a show. Simple as. But this is also the last Unsorted live stream you may see for a very long time.
For a while, anyway.
We are revamping. This is episode 10. When you get to episode 10 or a nice big round number, you got to do something cool. You got to reinvent the wheel.
You have to retool.
Yes.
Or your head explodes. It's true.
So we are going to look at and plan and do this show in a pre-recorded format, which will then be available in a podcast format, which you will hopefully, providing we know what we're doing, be able to get from all your favorite podcast locations.
We'll see about it, but
yeah,
it will. Have some faith. Yeah, you'll be able to get it from all major podcast sources, and you can listen to it on the move. You can listen to it whilst you do the vacuuming. You can listen to it whilst you masturbate. Whatever you want to do.
Exactly. And
I'm not sure about that last one, but yes.
There you go. If someone wants to do that whilst we're talking about Lego, it's their thing. Exactly.
We want to announce the other part.
This is not going to work on a podcast. We're going to have to get used to that.
Well, the thing is, we will still be uploading it as a video.
We will. Yeah, we will.
But it will be pre-recorded on there. And should we announce the other part of this as well that we're going to be doing, not immediately, but after a few episodes?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
So we are going to still keep the format of the three of us, three of a kind. But also going forward, there will be episodes where we have special guests on the show as well. So stay tuned for that, because we're going to have some cool people on here. Some people who don't even know it yet.
I can't wait for welcome to episode 15 of Unsorted, our special guest, Joe Chambers.
Yes, we moved him from the co-host role to promoted for a week.
Yeah, apparently Minifig Who says you can also upload video podcasts on Spotify now as well. Interesting.
Oh, that.
And David Oscar says, "Will it still be called Unsorted?" And yes, it will be.
Yes.
It will be.
That's the
It
plan.
will be Unsorted. The next generation. No, it will just be Unsorted.
This is as sorted as it gets right here.
Yeah, so we'll be keeping the name the same. It's just we're going with a little bit, trying to step it up, trying to get more people listening to our chaotic rambling.
Pre-sorted.
Pre-sorted.
I like that minifigure. That's good. Yeah. And we won't be doing a show for a couple of weeks, but we will certainly let you know via our multitude of communication methods, whether it's YouTube, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. Joe's BDE, we'll let you know. We'll let you know when the next
welcome to
episode
the
is
BDE zone. No pants, no shirts. Come on in.
We will let you know when we're back up. Well, when the show is up, and you'll be able to find it everywhere. MySpace.
MySpace. Yes, indeed.
Well, that's you.
MySpace. Hi, Bob.
No. GeoCities. See us on GeoCities.
Oh dear.
Oh, come on. E-Bombs World. Check us out.
Oh my God,
E-Bombs World.
Yes. It is sad, but yes, we will.
We haven't ruled out doing a live one in the future, like as a special.
Yeah,
one.
correct.
But
I still like doing this occasionally for sure. But
and there will be other live streams. Like I'm still going to do live streams on my channel and stuff like that. I can't speak obviously for these two fuckers, but they might do live streams as well on their channels. But Unsorted as it is go into the podcast format, pre-recorded. And we might do, I don't know, the 50th special or something as a live one. Or if we can just feel like, hey, let's take this live, we'll do it. But this is going to allow us to work around. Like, one of the complaints I know that some people have had is the fact that, well, really, we've been very consistent, haven't we, Sam? And
recently, yes.
So, but, we do struggle with our day jobs and other work commitments. With this, we can record it whenever we're available and then make sure that it is up for you guys to consume at the regular intervals.
Yep. So we're going to work on that and make sure if this is the kind of insanity you enjoy listening to, first of all, go see a professional. But second of all, we want to provide you with all that ooey gooey Lego immature goodness that you can just spread it all over your BDE. Ooh.
Are we really sure we want to keep him as a co-host? Revamp might be a time to recast.
I am trying to get myself kicked off of this so hard.
We mentioned applications earlier. Send them in. So yes, like I say, we're moving to the podcast format. I really do want to thank everybody who's been along with us for the journey. It's great, and I hope you look forward to the next chapter as much as we do, because it's going to be great. We've got more chaos, and you know what? Share it with your friends, because I'm certainly going to make my colleagues listen to this whilst they're on the road traveling around the UK. Probably don't even like Lego, but do you know what?
It's okay,
Sam,
neither do we, apparently.
If I let a single goddamn person I work with hear this thing, I'm going to be fired from the electrical engineering industry. No one will hire me.
Oh, that's all right, Joe. We have electrical engineers over here. You can come work with us.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I did enjoy England.
You can live in a hobbit house, just like Sam.
Yeah.
What will I do without my
Without your
Lego?
If you think your big dick energy rocket looks big now, imagine what it would be in a hobbit hole.
Look out, England! Here I come. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So yeah, thank you everybody thank you everybody who joined in tonight and was in the chat, watched the show. Oh my word, there's a lot of chat messages. So there was Jacob Neely, Mrs. Craggle, Lady Sam B, Cut the Craggle, Minifig Who, Clicking Cliff stopped by as well. So hello to you, Andy you, David Austin. Oh, we had a lot of people tonight. Neely as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and thank you for being regulars and checking us out. And
thank you so much.
I would say, listening to our chaos has been great, and we hope you're back with us in a couple of weeks once we got the first podcast out.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you again soon.
Should we do our shout outs real quick, Sam, Mr. Host?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Go Joe.
Okay. Hi, I'm Joe from Skylab Bricks. Come see my wares and sundries on Etsy. At some point in the next couple months, I'm probably going to start migrating a few things over to Rebrickable. We'll see. I like Etsy for the time being. I am working on some really big projects that I hope to be able to release, show some videos and pictures of on Instagram. I've really picked up some popularity there, weirdly. I'm always very weirded out by people who like my stuff. But thank you very much for coming and following me and seeing all my stuff. That's about it for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Joe. Cut the Craggle.
Hello, I am Cut the Craggle, or sometimes known as just Craggle. Come over to my YouTube channel, Cut the Craggle. You can watch lots of my content. I've been doing this for a few years now, so I'm sure at some point, sometime, I've made a video that you might, think is okay. Also, go to my website, cutthecraggle.com, where I sell my custom minifigs. I've just dropped some new pre-orders on there, and I'm going to be having some more stuff coming, I think, probably middle to end of this month as well. So be sure to check that out. And if you want to stay up to date on most of my content, YouTube or custom minifigure wise, you can follow me on Instagram. Simply Cut the Craggle on Instagram. And that would be cool. Hope to see you there.
Cool. Well, thank you, Craggle. I think
I did forget to mention that. I did forget to mention that I am Skylab Bricks on Instagram. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's not all about you, Joe. You had your time.
It is.
I think there's only one thing we really need to say to this lovely group of people who are still here.
Fuck off!
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.